So here we are in a Cessna 152 heading in towards Honolulu. What we're going to be doing here is what's called the Freeway 5 arrival. This is a arrival that gets VFR traffic easily into the congested Class Bravo airspace. Here I am right now. We're making our turn towards the Wailea Golf Course at 2,000 feet. And this is going to get it lined up for the beginning of the arrival. Let me give you an idea what this arrival looks like on paper. So the way this arrival works is you start at Cocoa Head or near Cocoa Head, then you travel across the bay towards the Wailea Golf Course. Once you hit the Wailea Golf Course, you follow the H1 freeway out towards Fort Schaffner. Upon reaching Fort Schaffner, you're going to make a left turn so you can join the downwind for runways 4 left or 4 right. So let's go ahead and speed this up as we head from Cocoa Head across the bay now towards the Wailea Golf Course, still maintaining 2,000 throughout the entire arrival procedure. And then once we make land over the Wailea Golf Course, then all we have to do is just follow the freeway or just stay slightly north of it as we make into Honolulu. Now you can see that the airport is off to our left as we make our way towards Fort Schaffner, still maintaining 2,000 foot altitude. Alright, now we'll slow the video down as we make our left turn, entering the downwind for runway 4 left. The tower's already cleared us to enter downwind 4 left. They have not cleared us to land at this point. As you can see, we're still pretty high. We're at 2,000 feet. So this, from this location, makes it quite the chop and drop. You gotta throttle back and make your way on the downwind. Now, besides the chop and drop, this particular landing has a little bit of complexity to it. So winds are 160 at 10 knots, giving us an actual 5-knot tailwind and a right 8-knot crosswind. Where that becomes interesting is any aircraft that are going to be landing on runway 4 right, it's going to blow any of their wake vortices to 4 left, and that's the issue that we run into here. At this point, I've already been cleared to land runway 4 left, and an Airbus from Hawaiian Airlines has already been cleared to land on runway 4 right. Now here shortly we'll see that Airbus start to come into frame, but I do believe the controller realized that there's the potential for their wake to blow onto runway 4 left, considering that we do have the winds that are coming off of the right. And at this point he sends me on a 360 initially. So here I am, I'm going to throttle up, maintain pattern altitude, and make a right turn heading to the right to do a 360. And then instead of a 360, the controller really quickly just said, okay, head over to the golf course on the north side of the freeway and hold. That way they can get other aircraft in and then put me in a position where I can land safely. So at this point, I'm just maintaining 80 knots at 800 feet and heading towards the location where I'm going to hold right over the Navy golf course. You can see there on the bottom right, there's the golf course. Now at this point I'm linking back to my private pilot training days because this is kind of a confined area for an aircraft. So I pick a point on the ground and I just start doing turns around the point. Here's where I keep that bank angle in, and I've fixed on a nice little point off my right wing and just continue to do circles until the controller clears me to come back in. And throughout this entire maneuver, I'm maintaining 80 knots just to ensure that I'm not going to run into any kind of stall speed, especially since I'm putting in, almost 35 to 40 degrees of bank, keeping myself centered around this golf course. Really, the last thing I want to do is do a stall spin at this low of an altitude right into someone's golf game and mess their day up. Well, I guess, and mine too. Now, as this orbit finishes up, that Airbus has landed, cleared the runway, and the controller is actually able to get another aircraft right behind it onto runway 4 right. Now, this is really one of the fun parts about flying into Honolulu, because you have all of this crazy air traffic and big aircraft flying in this airspace, and I'm here in a Cessna 152 sharing it with them. There's everything from F-22s, F-35, C-17, C-5s, and the Airbus A380, all right here at this airport. So here at this point, I'm crossing over runway 8 left, and if I do recall correctly, the tower controller said that they would call my base because they have a caravan that is now on short final for runway 4 right. So the best thing to do is really just point your nose at that corner in the lagoon and continue your descent, adding flaps and slowing down as necessary. Now, with traffic not really being too much of a factor, the tower controller clears me to do a left base at my own discretion. And now we're at the 45 beam point for runway 4 left, so we'll make our left base entry, and then right there above the nose you can see that caravan that's on short final for 4 right. Now, I don't really want to overshoot this runway, so I always cut the turn just a little bit just to ensure I'm not going on into incoming traffic that's landing on the opposite runway, or the parallel runway. Now, lined up here, runway 4 left. I do have a little bit of a crab to the right, and that's because I do have that tailwind and that crosswind from the right side. Then crossing over the numbers, we decrab, make sure we keep that right wing into the wind, and touch down with the right wheel. And thank you for watching this video. This is a pretty interesting arrival for me. Every time there's something new and you don't know what's going to happen. But this airport always has something unexpected, especially with all the incoming air traffic.